Welcome to part two of Effective Selling for Introverts. I'm your instructor, Nathan Annie Barber. So today's lesson is part two of a five-part course on preparation. This is the first stage of the PLACE methodology. This lesson focuses on creating your own goals and an actionable plan to help you achieve them. So in the previous lesson, I shared a story about Raul Gomez, a talented young player from Spain who had all the abilities to dominate the game for years, but couldn't because he couldn't create an actionable step-by-step plan to help him realize his goals. Similarly, if your goal is to bring in £1 million worth of revenue over the next 18 months, for instance, but you haven't set a monthly, weekly, and daily plan for activity and a timescale for achieving them, you won't achieve your goals. So this section will help you do just that. So the first step in creating a sales pipeline. So this will give you the confidence that you'll have enough closable opportunities to predictably win the business you need every week, every month, or every quarter, depending on how you're structured. Introverts are generally quite good at converting an interested prospect into a paying customer because we can build credibility through our natural listening and questioning skills. The challenge that we tend to have is getting enough prospects into our pipeline to support our stronger than average closing ratios. The best way around this is to represent your pipeline as a funnel. So download this worksheet that comes with this lesson. This will give you the advantage of knowing exactly where you are with the prospect at any given time. You can see all of your opportunities at the different stages with a corresponding financial value at each stage. So your pipeline has to be balanced at all times. So for example, if you need 4 closable opportunities at any given time, depending on your conversion ratios, you might need 8 qualified opportunities, 12 prospects, and 24 suspects in your pipeline, with opportunities moving from top to bottom at all times. Again, your pipeline must meet a minimum financial value with new opportunities coming into the top to support your closing ratios. So to make this a little bit more concrete, say for instance, if the service you sell is worth £12,500 as indicated here, and you convert 1 in every 8 qualified opportunities into a paying customer, then you know that you need £100,000 worth of potential revenue in your pipeline at the qualified opportunity stage at all times. So now that we've created our pipeline and we know the number of potential clients we need at each stage in order for us to win a new client, now let's look at setting our goals and creating a plan to help you achieve those goals. Again, it's very important. Download the worksheet that comes with this lesson. Plot out your own opportunities on this pipeline. It'll give you a clearer indication as to whether or not you're actually being realistic in terms of your own goals that you want to achieve. So what are your sales goals? This can be defined in terms of the number of new clients you want to win or percentage growth of your business, etc. Setting the goals is only half of it. The other half is actually making a solid, actionable plan to see how you're going to achieve those goals. So the idea is to use your sales plan to reach your goals within a time frame you set without getting sidetracked or ending up at a dead end. It's important that you do this because the vast majority of salespeople do not. The reason why it's so important is because getting to that first stage, i.e. booking an appointment with a prospect, is not easy. The reality is that very few salespeople consistently reach that first stage. The main reason is because they lack the consistency of doing the unglamorous parts of selling, i.e. prospecting. Usually because they don't have a plan which outlines the activity which they need to do every day in order to achieve a particular goal. So now I want you to think about what you want to achieve in your business or your personal lives. So there are 3 things you need to do in order to achieve them. Number 1, write them down. Number 2, make a plan. And number 3, build momentum. So the first item here is writing it down. We're more likely to complete something if we have a written documentation of it. So writing something down makes it official. You can always come back to it later and refer to what you said or what you meant. Also, writing it down gives you the ability to cross it off your list when it's done, so you can go on to the next item on your list. There's a huge sense of achievement that comes from crossing an important objective off your list. So download the worksheet that comes with this lesson and fill out the steps. The second item is make a plan. So a plan is a methodical series of steps that, if followed in sequence, produces a desired result. So this is your sales plan. It defines what you do on a daily basis to achieve said objectives. It prevents you from getting lost by ensuring you follow the necessary steps in order in a timely fashion to reach your goals. The third item here is build momentum. So, like anything, success in sales is self perpetuating and builds momentum. The more success you get is the more you want, is the more you get, and so on and so forth. So, having a written sales plan helps you build momentum, helps you keep that momentum by giving you a series of actions to take to keep your pipeline full. When you're committed to following your plan, the discipline of taking action every day actually builds momentum for you. Positive momentum was important for me in my last job as head of sales for the marketing agency because I knew that in order to close one deal a month, I needed two closable opportunities. For me to get that, I needed 8 qualified opportunities or confirmed face-to-face meetings with a prospect. For me to get that, I needed 12 prospects or people who hold a pain that my solutions could potentially solve. So for me to get those numbers, I needed to make 20 calls a day, send 15 emails a day. I needed to attend one networking event a month to find contacts that fit my ideal target profile. So consistently putting in that level of activity gave me the confidence that I would achieve my goal of winning one client a month. If I did put in that level of activity and I didn't hit those numbers, I knew that it was because of a training issue I had and not an activity issue. Again, very important. You need to isolate the reason why you're unsuccessful in sales. Is it because you're not putting in the right level of activity, or is it because of some deeper fundamental training issue to do with technique and strategy and execution? So now that we have the context out the way, let's create your own goals and a sales plan. So write down these 5 steps. Again, there's a worksheet that comes with this lesson. Download it and work through it in your own time. First question is, what would you like to achieve in your business and your personal life? Would you like to sell the business in 3 years? Would you like to retire in 10 years? Would you like to be in a position where you can hire salespeople so that you can focus on other areas of your business? Would you want to travel around the world on a cruise ship? Number 2, when would you like to achieve this goal by? How much would it cost in order, or how much profit will you actually need to achieve it? Number 3 is, how much do you have to sell in order to earn your required income? So break this down into how many new accounts or how many sales you need to win every month. Number 4, based on experience, what's required of you every month to close a new deal? How many proposals must you create to close one? How many opportunities must you find to propose one? How many conversations do you have to have with the decision maker in order to book one opportunity? How many times do you have to pick up the phone and dial it or send emails for you to have one conversation? Multiply these numbers by the number of new accounts needed for a month. Number 5 is figure out how many selling days you have available each month and divide the numbers in the previous section with the number of days available for selling. The result of this becomes your daily action plan. So, for example, make this a little bit more concrete. It could be, suppose that you have 18 days for selling each month after you've done the math. You might come up with the following plan. Send 100 emails a day, dial the phone 25 times, speak to 10 decision makers, book 3 qualified opportunities, you propose to 1 in 3, and you close 1 in 2 proposals. You need to find someone to hold you accountable to these numbers. So if there's a co-owner or someone in another part of the business that has visibility of your numbers and holds you accountable to them, you'll be much more likely to actually stick to them. So in summary, setting goals on a plan by itself doesn't guarantee anything. But if these goals motivate you to do what it takes to be successful, then you have to follow them religiously and build momentum. This is a crucial first step that so many salespeople do not do. Because of this, they don't have the right motivation to do the unglamorous, sometimes repetitive things needed to be successful. To make sure you stick to them, tell as many people as you can and tell them your time scale for achieving them as well. That will give you the pressure needed to actually achieve them. So now that we have an initial understanding of the PLACE methodology and how it applies to introverts, we also have an understanding of the importance of setting goals and sticking to them. Join me for the next lesson where the sales process truly begins in earnest, booking a qualified appointment. I'll see you then. Bye.